Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is 11th lecture of DDCDP 23, and in this lecture we will you had been given an assignment to design a Figma based design into HTML, and that is what we will be covering today. We'll be redoing that. Good job doing that, but if there are still issues, we can redo it in this lecture. So this is that design. This is the desktop version, this is the tablet version, and this one is the mobile version, and we have almost the same design, just colors are different. So we will have the use of CSS variables as well, so that with just minimal changes we can turn a design, change the theme of a design. So there is a terminology in web design called mobile first design. You can Google about it yourselves as well, and there are videos on it on YouTube also. So generally, if you are developing, if you are a newbie, you start developing designs from desktop first. So you will first design this one, then the tablet version, and at the last you will be doing things for mobile. This is one of the approach. Then there is mobile first design, for which you design the layout first in mobile for mobiles, then you move on towards tablet, and then towards the desktop version. So in this demo we will start with the mobile first approach, because I personally think this is easier to do than the desktop version, because if you do things for desktop and then you start undoing things for tablet, and then even further undoing on changing stuff for mobile, so it's a lot of undoing which is involved in the mobile version. So if we start from mobile, and this again is the personal preference of designers, there are still designers and many of them who use the desktop first approach, but we will be doing mobile first in this demo. Okay, one thing initially, as I have already mentioned this to you, whenever you have a design in front of you, you will first explore it for the like 10 to 20 minutes and make a mental map of how you will be doing stuff. This menu was not part of the assignment, only this part was the assignments part. So we'll be doing the menu in the last, or maybe in the next lecture, but for now we will just be designing this part of the layout, which is just simple stuff. Okay, so as I have mentioned, you have to put some thought on how you will be designing it before going on to coding. So it has to the approach to mobile first is, as I do it, is you will write styles for mobile, but you will have to design markup as per your desktop version or maybe tablet version. So the markup we will create according to how we will be designing it on desktop, but CSS will be according to the mobile. So this is a bit confusing, but this is from my experience. So if, for example, you have to do the start CSS, it will be only for the mobile version, but the markup you have to use is for the desktop version. So let us analyze how this design is right now. So for example, this is the header section. We will have a header section. It has two divs which we can use. It has two divs. In the left div we will use this text and buttons, in the right we will use the image. This is simple. So it can be done with flexbox, grid layout, or even floats. The old school guys know what float actually is, and we have also studied float, so we can do it all the three ways, but in this demo we will be doing it in flexbox. So this is the header. Header will have two inner divs, left and right. So this is what I was talking about. You have to examine the structure of the site before even going into coding. The next is this section. So if you carefully look into this design, it is actually three divs: about us, vision, and then the third one, and each of them have their own content. So if I just ask you to basically create these three divs, just the three divs. So actually it will be one wrapper around about us, the one around vision, and the third one is the mission. That's it. And then there will be the internal stuff like about us, text, and these images. So always think on the global level first. So your task will be to just create the three main wrappers first. That's it. Before making any CSS changes or whatever, the main task we have right now on hand is to create the HTML of this document. So that's what we will do. We will start not from the menu because we will do it late, because that was not part of your assignment. This is so again the markup will be from desktop first approach. Make this a rule. And markup means HTML, and CSS will be from the mobile first approach. Okay, so let us start it. Coding. I already have created a folder, and it has these three images, four images rather. They are from this design. This one is person, this is code, this is right image, this is right to image. So I already have downloaded these, and they should be inside the images folder. Outside the images folder, we will create an HTML document, and we will call it index.html. Okay, so far we have been using CSS within the document, but from today onwards, as maybe there is a lot of CSS, we will make a separate file and link it. So here we will create a new file. We'll call it main.css, and we will link it with HTML. So link each ref is equal to main.css, ref is equal to style sheet, and then it is a self-closing thing. Now just to check if everything is working fine, we will just add one text background dash color purple, for example, and check. Everything is inside the images folder, which is not what we wanted. So I will just copy and paste them here. Okay, so the background image is purple, which means it is working fine. Now I will remove the body CSS, this one. Let us delete these two. Okay, so very simple file structure: index.html and main.css, and then we have in the images folder all the four images from the design. The next thing is we will start with the markup. Okay, so for now let us assume that we will have a centered div.container. We will have a layout which is centered actually. So the whole, if we control minus or whatever, so it will be inside the container, which we have been practicing. So then we will have header. Header is just a container, and then the main. These are the two things in this design, nothing extravagant. Then in the header we will have, as I mentioned, we will have this. In the header we have a left section and the right section. In the right there is an image, in the left there is text. So in the left I will create a div, class is equal to header underscore left. This is fine. And then to the right we will have header underscore right. That's it. So in the header we have two divs, left and right. In the left section, let us go back. We will place this text and these three buttons. These three buttons actually are links. So we'll just copy this text and this one as well. In the left we will place, and in a web page we have just one heading, h1. Okay, h1 means this is the page title. There should be normally not more than one h1 in the page, because of a lot of reasons. You can Google about them, but one of them is for search engines, h1 means this is title of the page. So we'll put this text, and let us just dedicate to all sections. The capitalization of this will come from CSS, so we will just make it normal. Dedicated to all sectors of the beauty industry. Okay, let us have the closing h1 also. Is this fine? Okay, h1 is this, and if you examine carefully, the color of the leading B2B event, this one, is yellowish or something. Let me zoom in, and then this one is white. So any idea how to do it? So within the h1 we will use span tag and move this one into, why span? Because it is inline and it won't break to the next line. Otherwise we can use other tags also. But so in h1 we have span this. Then we have three buttons. Sorry, three buttons. Yes, this one, this one, this one. If you go to the desktop version, it has tablet version still has these, and then they are stacking on top of each others. So as I have mentioned, you have to make your markup according to the desktop version. So this means we need something flexbox related, maybe even grid is fine. So we will create a container around these three links, and on desktop version we will make them flexbox while we are doing it for desktop. So let us create that container. We are still inside the header left portion div. So here we will div class is equal to, let us name it header underscore left underscore or buttons, something like this, and we will put all the three links here. Is this fine? So ahref equals something, it is breaking news, all shows open on Thursday. Breaking news. Another one is all shows open on Thursday. Shows open on Thursday. And then register now. This is fine. So what we have done is, we have on the left we have already added all the HTML we need. On the right we need this image. So again, in the right section, this one, what we need is image src equals images slash person.png. Is this fine? And also we can give it some class, because targeting it will be very easier then. So it can be header, because we have just one image, so it's fine to have just one image, header underscore image. Is this fine? So we have added this to the page. The next section is this. We are in the tablet version. Okay, the next section is this. It's about us, text, then the image, and then the button. So as I have said, we need 3 main divs in it, and then inside those divs we will have a content. So let us create those 3 divs first inside the main section. So we are inside the main section, and then we have 3 divs. We are going to have 3 divs, but let us have a container also, main container, or we can call it anything. If class is equal to main dash inner. So inside the main section we have a div, that's it. And in the inner section we will have 3 divs. Div class is equal to, we'll call it, for example, about us. One is mission. What is it? Vision, and then we have mission. So this is vision or mission, and this is mission. So we already have created those 3 divs: about us, vision, and mission. About us, vision, and mission. The next step is to put this content into their respective divs. So about us is in the sections, inside the section, because we already have one h1. Now we will use h2s. This is h2, this is also h2, and this is also h2. So about us is h2, and this is the text, which is for a time being copy text inside the about us section. It is h2 about us, then we have this text and this image. So the text is going to be this, and what's that shortcut for alt? Okay, good. Okay, so this paragraph, then we have the image. So image src equals images slash code.png. That's the file, image. Is this clear?
Yes.
About us, the P, the image, and then we have a button also. This one, register now. So we will create a link, just a link. But normally link is an inline element. So normally I like pasting them in some divs, so that if class is equal to about us dash underscore link, or anything you can call it, and here we will place register now, and href is going to be hash for now. This is fine. Okay, again I have told you that you should be examining the tablet as well as desktop version for the actual markup. You may need markup on some layout, responsive layout. So in that case you should have all the markup in the page already. So if we examine it in desktop, it is fine, it is stacked. I mean the title, then the text, then the image, and then the link. But on tablet it is 2 column. Do you agree?
Yes.
The same about us section is 2 columns. This means we need to wrap this text and this image into separate divs. So let us do it right from the start. We will create two inner divs inside about us. So we will call them div class is equal to about us dash underscore underscore left, for example, or anything you can call them. Right now let us just use left, and I will copy h2 p and p only. So let us copy these two and put them inside the left portion, means left div. And we have another about us, another div class is equal to about us underscore underscore right. So when we are on the tablet, we will just need to make them flex or grid or whatever, and they will be like this. Is this fine? Okay. So we have created two inner divs inside about us section, which are the left and the right ones. The same we will do for vision and mission also, because even if you go, this is the vision and this is the mission. So both of them are in columns also. So that's why we need to have left and right for them also, though on desktop they are stacked for now. So we will create two more inside the vision. Div class is equal to vision underscore underscore left and vision underscore underscore right. This is fine. Inside the left one we will place the image. If you see, we have the image on the left and vision and the text on the right. So here images rc right one.png. This is the name of the image we will be using, and on the right we will be adding vision and this text and then the link. So let us zoom them in. Vision, this, and okay, so this is going to be h2 again, vision, then p, and this is the paragraph, and then the link, and the link is read more with an underline. So the link is again this is a link, so let us add it inside a vision underscore underscore link and a hash read more. Is this fine? So vision right we have h2 paragraph and vision link. The same we will do, because if you go to this one, even on desktop it is two columns. So let us do it this way. On the left we will have mission, this and this. On the right we will have image. So let us create two more divs. Div class is equal to mission underscore underscore left, and the same with the mission underscore underscore right. This is fine. On the left we will add mission, this, and read more. So on the left we will add an h2 mission, then the paragraph, which is this, and then what is that, read more. So again maybe we need to add div class is equal to mission underscore underscore link, and in it we will have ahref equals hash and then read more. In the right div we will add the image src equals images / write to .png. Is this fine? And with this probably we have added all the markup on the page. So that's the first step for you. All the markup has been added to the page. Is this fine? Maybe we are just going to add some classes now, but for now it has been added, and just ignore the menu because we will do it last. This is what on the page, and all of this has been added. Now if I open it in Chrome or any other browser, so we have all the markup in the page. The next thing is, so that you have the mental map of what we have of all the markup, so you can check the markup from here as well. So we have a div container, then header has two divs, left and right, then main has main inner div, and then we have let me zoom it in. Header has the main has main inner, and then you can see you have three divs: div class equal about us, vision, mission, and each of them have two left and right divs. This is good because at times you miss some closing div or whatever, so it creates panic as well in the page. Now if I just for example 480 is the mobile screen, this one. So this kind of already is responsive. We just, without any CSS or anything like this, it is responsive. If we had done it on if we had done the desktop version first, for example, then we would have to undo a lot of things. But here it is already responsive. There is no horizontal. Maybe there is some because of the default. So in main.css, for browser resets we do, because there are some margin paddings by default in the browsers, and you can copy code from Google as well. There are articles about browser resets, but here we will have margin 0, padding 0, and one of them is border box sizing. Box sizing, you remember, it will be border box for everything. We already have discussed it. So border box means border widths and padding, they won't be part of the box model. It will be actually part of the width of the box. So this is just reset. If you start using CSS frameworks, they already have this for you, so you just don't need to worry. Now let us start styling it. Styling means, for widths at least, we are not going to do anything else. We will just be changing the text and colors and all. Okay, so the markup is ready, and we will be in the mobile section now. Ignore the menu. Here we will start. Okay, so this is the body color. We'll just copy it, and the text, if you see, the text is mostly white. Okay, so let us start with these two first. So on the body we will have the background of this, and color white. So what it will do, it will make all the colors on the page white. If I just refresh it, so the colors are white. Why not the link colors? Because they by default are bluish type, so we can do that as well. So for example, A colors should be color white. Remember, these are global styles. So, and text dash decoration none. So all the links now on the page will have white colors and the text decoration will be none. So we already have some structure to the page with the links being white and okay. One thing, if you have noted in the design, there is some space inside this box. This to the left and to the right. In Figma, how do you find out what the on Mac? You will click on option and then the second element, and then it will show you 28 pixels. Is it right? This width is, you will click on option and then the element. So here it will show you the difference, the size of the. So we will make it hard coded for now. This is 28 pixels. So in the container, the advantage of the container is dot container padding dash left 28 pixels, and we can give it in rems also. If the size of the rem is 16 pixels, so it may be 1.5 or something. And padding dash right also 28 pixels. Margin, we need to center the container, so margin dash auto, margin left auto, margin dash right auto. So now the if you refresh the page, we already have this space and the container will be in the center. Is this right? Okay. The next step is, if you closely check the fonts, so mostly they are this font is OSWLD Oswald. So let us search Oswald in Google. Let us copy this one, for example, or maybe this one. Okay, I already have some fonts, so probably we need to remove these. This one is only we need. So 400, 500 fine, and we will just use the import statement for now, and just copy the import this one, and let us use it inside at the top of or main.css file. Now how to use it in CSS font family Oswald this. So let us copy this, and in the body we will give it this. So inside the body, all the text now will be of this font size, font family. Is this okay? Now if I refresh the page, everything has changed font wise. The next step is, you can see some horizontal scroller here. Why is it so? Because of probably the image sizes. For responsive layouts, we must give some sort of this type of styles for images. So the images should be, for now let us just give them 100% width, and height auto. Height auto means it will adjust itself according to the. So now with just this CSS, if you see, there is now equal amount of padding to the left and right of the container, and the images are all 100%. Is this fine? The next step is to go back to the design here. Okay, again we will hide the menu for now, and this is, if you click on this and then this, it will show you so this is 134. The space between this heading and this one is 134 pixels, but we will for now give it just or maybe 134 is fine. Then this text needs to be styled, and this one as well. So this let us give some styles. This one is going to be the main heading color, this one should be secondary heading. Don't give classes as per the colors, probably. Maybe even then, if you are using CSS variables, we will use, for example, main heading color or main heading and then secondary heading. But if I call it orange color or red color or whatever, so then I will have to use the CSS accordingly as well. So it's good to give names without the colors. So we'll make this one main heading and then this one secondary heading or something like that. So let us create one class dot main dash heading, and it will have a color of, let us copy it from this is color is this, and it is uppercase. So let us make it text dash transform. Rather, for now, just make it this color, and the secondary color is heading. It has a color of white. So what I meant by naming classes or even the variables accordingly mean that even if, for example, in any new project, you will have to just change this value, not the class name. For example, if I name it main heading dash yellow, then I will have to change the variable name yellow as well. For now, okay, main heading and secondary heading. The next step is, if I go to HTML and to the h1 class, so class is equal to main dash heading, and the span will have class is equal to secondary dash heading.
Some text is missing in the span tag.
Missing?
One line of dedicated to something.
Sectors of the beauty industry, okay. To all sectors of the industry, okay. Created to all sectors of the beauty industry, okay, fine. So if I just refresh the page, this is the main portion, and then this one. If we further, and the padding top should be 128 pixels for the header section. So the header padding dash top 128 pixels. Okay, now the font size for the headings. This is how much is it? 32 pixels. Okay, it means the whole heading is going to be 32 pixels, and also it is uppercase, all is uppercase. So here we can, for example, we can use these classes elsewhere as well. There it won't be headings uppercase, or maybe the sizes are smaller. That's why we will just header dot main dash heading. So it is text dash transform uppercase, and the font size is 32. We can give it, for example, if 16 is the size, so something 1 point something rems also, but for now make it 32 pixels. So if we refresh it, we have, let us move it to 48 for now, 480. Is this fine? Next, these are the buttons, breaking news, all this, these are 3 separate buttons. So if you examine, for example, in a real world project, you will have already some buttons on a page which is known as style guide. Maybe there are 3, 4 or 5 types of buttons only in a whole website. Similarly, if I just examine this layout, so this is one type of button, this is another type, this is another type. These are 3 types. Only these 3 types are there. Is this fine? So what we can do is we can create 3 separate buttons. Maybe you can name them primary button, secondary button, whatever. But for simplicity, I will just make 3 button classes: button 1, btn1, and then btn2, and then btn3. So with this, you know, you have just 3 types of buttons, for example, and there can be .btn button also. So all the generic styles will go here, and then all the specific styles will go here, and we can specify those 2 classes to the button. So for example, if you examine, all of these have some padding, and mostly the text is uppercase, only here it is lowercase, right? So we will create 2 buttons, .btn, and on mobile it is 100% of the width. So width is 100%, padding is, let us go again to the design, and if I just
double click on control plus hundreds.
it is 15, 15 and 110 and 109, but we need the, actually this space depends upon the text size. So this one may be more specific, it is 51. So 15, 15 and 51. So let us just 15 pixel to the top, 15 pixel, 50 pixel to the right, 15 pixel to the bottom, and 15 pixel, sorry, TBR and L, 50 pixel. Is this clear? Text dash align center, and we want the button to be display inline dash block, so that we can give any widths if we ever need. So for now, just give a class of .btn to the links, and we will see some difference. Background dash color transparent, for example, for now. So any text with the .btn will have these properties. So in the HTML, to the button, this one, breaking news, we'll give it a class is equal to btn. Is this fine? So a class is equal to button, the other 2 are also class button. Now I will just refresh the page. So these are now the same classes, but we haven't yet given them any backgrounds. So as I said, if there are common elements in the buttons, we will give it to .btn class like this, and the differences will be here. So the first button is background dash color, and it is this color. And this is one of the colors we will change to variable also. Let us do it even now, maybe if we forget in future. So we will do it, for example, dot purple. We will create a class called it purple, and inside purple we will have a variable the dash main dash color, for example. And we will give the body this color. The purple is one of the theme of the site, so inside it we have created this variable main color, and now in the body we will create we will give it a class of purple. So just assume it. If in case we have to define another theme, we will just create another class and give it all the style variables inside that class, and to the body we will just give that class. So the whole color theme will be changed then. So this is going to be, for example, the main color dot purple main color, and here we will use rather than this heading, we will what we will use now in the button one. Background dash color is var, sorry, underscore or dash. Okay, main color. Is this fine? So the btn will have a background of this, and if I just refresh the page, probably some problem is there. Okay, we haven't yet given the class to it in HTML. So the next step is to give it an extra class of btn1. Fine. Now it has that button style. The next one is white. So let us give it directly a white color, dash color white, to save some time for now. And the third one is background dash color black, and the text is white. Color white, and here we have color black, color black, and here we have color white. Is this fine? And now what is missing? The classes. We haven't yet given them the classes. So in index.html, this one is btn2 and this one is btn3, and that's it. In the design right now we have these three and then the image. So the next step is if we go to the design, these two are together and this one is, so there are two ways to of doing it. Either we will have to one thing, if I just check on the difference between these two, so this one and this one, sorry, so this is 25 pixels. So we already have a wrapper around these buttons, so we can give it a margin dash top of 25 pixels. So the button wrapper, if you remember, we had a wrapper around the buttons which was called header left buttons. Sorry, left buttons. Yes, these are this is a wrapper, and then we have these three links. So here somewhere dot this will give it margin dash top 25 pixels. So it will be, all of them will be, they will have a difference of this 25 pixels. This is fine. Then this one, the black one, needs to have a margin of margin top of how much? 37. So we can dot header buttons, then it has a dot btn 3 button. Is this clear now? This is resident selectors. It will have a margin dash top of 37 pixels. So if we refresh it, it has now that difference. One more thing, the text, this one and this one, they have uppercase text. Also, let us just check what the font sizes are. So the font size is 16 pixels, so one rem is fine. And what we can do is, for example, if I give here in the btn 2 or 3 or whatever, if I give this one uppercase, text dash transform uppercase, so this is good as well. But maybe there are buttons where there is a normal text, not the uppercase. So for this we can create this is known as utility class uppercase. We'll call the class uppercase, and here text dash transform uppercase. This is fine. Now what we will do is, in the HTML here, the two buttons, these two buttons have uppercase, so we will just give it the class of uppercase, and this one is also uppercase. This is fine. It means we didn't need to specify it inside the .btn class, because then it will make all the buttons uppercase. Now we have a class uppercase, and then in HTML we have given it an uppercase class styles. So if I just refresh the page, these two are now uppercase, and this one is the normal. If I need for some reasons to give it an uppercase as well, so what I will do, just give it a class of uppercase. Is this clear?
Yes.
Why I have done it like this? Because, for example, if here I need a button which is all btn 3, but it will and I need lowercase, for example, then I will have to rewrite it. Now I will just add a class, and that will make it like this. Okay. You might have noted that there is a border as well here. So, and there is some gap between the register now as well as the image. So there is some space between the, we will just calculate that space now. So for example, the distance between this one, let us have a break of 15 minutes. Okay, welcome back after the break. Now if we examine the space between this register now button and this image, so it is around 79 pixels. So maybe we can give it a margin top of 80 pixels. So if, for example, we come to a design and this image, which is this person image, so we can give it a margin top of, so here can give it directly also, as well as if for example we can enclose it inside its header right container. Okay, so margin top 80 pixels. The next is this border. So for now this is 20 pixel high border and the color is this one. So good, we have already used a variable for this. So to the header section, dot header, we had somewhere. For now just border dash bottom 20 pixel solid and var dash dash main color. This is fine.
Yes.
And so now we will have this. We will fix things in it, but for now just this is okay. So we have given the header bottom border of 20 pixels. Next we have this heading and the text. So if we examine this and this distance, the distance between this and this, so it's 64 pixels. What we can give to this main div, 64 or 65 pixel padding top. So if we come to the main section, this is the main section. Even inside the inner section we can give it a padding top. So dot main what is it, dash inner. So the padding top is 60. Setting dash top 64 pixels or even 65 is fine. So it has now that padding. Now what's the size of this about us? It is 40 pixels, and if we check this one, it is still an issue. I mean the color is default white. So we already have some headings. We can give it a heading of this class. So main heading is about us, can be a class of main heading. So if you go to about us, this one and this one, class is equal to main dash heading. So with just this it will have a color of that yellow, and the font size is right now the font size is 24 pixels, so it needs to be 40 pixels. What we can do is write this CSS dot about us dot main dash inner. It will dot main about us dot main dash heading, and it will have a font dash size of 40 pixels. Is it okay? Now we need to have some padding bottom, margin bottom. So if we inspect it, 20.9, so maybe 29, sorry, 21. So we can give it a margin dash bottom 21 pixels. So this is now it has a margin 1 pixel margin, and then we have some space between this image and this read more button also. So this may be also 29 pixels or something. So we can specify a class, say 29 pixels margin, or we can call it, for example, elements margin. So here in CSS, for example, dot elements margin dash bottom, and we can give it margin dash bottom how much, 21 pixels. This is fine. Now wherever we need this type of margin, we can give that class to. So for example, we needed it for about us, where was it, heading, this one, main heading. So we can give it this. Also the paragraph needs that margin, so class is equal to, you got it?
Remove the dot, sir.
Thank you. Okay. And even probably the image might need it as well, this image, this button. So where is the image? Again we need to remove the dot. Is this fine? So as we have given this margin bottom to the main heading in about us section, we don't need this now. So with just that class, wherever we need the bottom between elements, we can margin between elements, we can give that class here. Is this fine? So probably we'll have some spaces if all the things are okay. So this space, and then this one, and this register, now they are all they have now some margin bottom. Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
The next thing is this register now button should look like this. Read more, sorry, about us, read more. Okay, maybe so what we are going to use for that link, this one, register now. We have separate markup here, so this is read more, not register now. Vision, mission, read more. Okay, let us change this to read more. Is it read more or register now? Read more. Yes, so read more. Okay, and the class of the button should be Shabas btn and btn1. Read more. Now there is some difference in, we need to have another style of button also, which is even on the mobile not 100% like this. So what can we do? Maybe this is fourth style of the button, because here we need it to have 100% width, so that's fine. But here we don't need the 100% width. What we need is just a button which is in the center. So how can we do it?
Create a separate class of button.
Exactly. So we can quickly create one more button type, and we will call it btn-center or something like this. .btn centered, or anything like this, and then we will make it margin, color black, width auto, because we already have given 100% width to the buttons here,
Yes, sir.
so we are going to reset it. And then margin dash left auto, margin dash right auto. It can be done via flex also, but for now let us do it this way. Is this fine?
Yes.
Now we will add this class to this button, btn1, but we will make it btn1 and then this. Is this fine?
Yes.
So hopefully there will be some change in the button. Read more, and okay. Why is it not taking any margin auto? Let us make this one, this container, about us link. For now, just let us make it flex and center it.
Yes, sir.
That will be better an option. So dot about us dash dash link, dot about us dash dash link is going to be display flex justify dash content center and align dash items center. Is this fine? Okay, and remove this centering from here, and we will call it btn4 for now, anything like this. So centering is now based on this, not on the button itself. Is it right?
Yes.
So if you have to, as I was mentioning it to you, I like placing links inside divs.
Yes.
So now you just need to give this class to the div where there is a link and you want to center it. Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully it will be in the center now. Where is it? Have we given it that class?
No, sir. No, sir.
About us dash link, about us underscore link, sorry.
The width is 100%.
Yeah, width is 100%. Display flex, this I content this. Center about us. Yeah, btn4 is missing. btn1, btn. Thank you. Okay, so there is margin now between this one and this one also. Maybe we haven't given the margin bottom to the image, so better we should give that class to the image. So where is it? Elements margin bottom. Div class is equal to elements margin bottom and image. Okay, image class is equal to this, so it has now some space. The next is these lines. The same we need to do. We'll give it a class of this to it, about us, then the mission, and as well as we will be changing the links of these, but to save some time I will just give the classes to headings right now. I will leave the rest to yourselves. Okay, so we will give it just like we gave it in the about us section, main heading and elements margin bottom. We will give that to vision also. So where is the class? This one, this, and elements dash margin dash bottom. This is fine. Similarly to this one, class is equal to heading, main dash heading, and element margin dash bottom. Is it element or elements? Element or elements? Let us check it. Elements. Okay, so if we just refresh the page, vision and mission both have now almost this, but we need to where is that class? This one. So here we need not about us section, we need this one, main heading, yes, this one. Okay, similarly we need in the vision and mission and mission. If all of these are of the same font sizes, so we can create a generic class also, which we will need to give rather than nesting them. So this is all up to you. So now these are the spaces. Is this fine? To just save time, I will leave the rest because there needs to be some space also here in the text. So maybe we need to give it, let us give it elements main margin to the P, this one, elements dash main dash margin, no sorry, bottom margin, and we can give that to mission also, vision also. So class is elements dash bottom dash margin. It's much better now. Is this fine? So almost we are done with the mobile design. I will leave this as an assignment also for you, so that on the larger layouts it should extend to the 100% width of the body, the border, because normally in designs like these they will be in the center and they will look cut out, so it should extend to the 100% body width. Can we assume we have sort of done the mobile design? Because we need to style these links also. I will leave it to you. This is mainly the home page design of the mobile. Now the next part is we should incrementally move to the tablet version, this one, not jump to the desktop immediately, because again then you will have to redo a lot of stuff. Simple dimple, we have, or we already have this these divs, this one, and then these two divs also, this one and this one. So with just minimal CSS we will create a, at the bottom of the page, add media and min dash width so tablet starts from 769 pixel, or maybe 768, but up to 768 that will be probably mobile, and then 769 is tablet, or maybe it is 768, but let us do it from 769. Now if you check our markup and go to the header section, so header has if I just close these ones, so header has header left and header right. Is this fine? Two divs. So for now I will just make the header. Any guesses, Shabas?
Display flex.
Header display flex, that's it. Just with this rule, if we just refresh the page, it is on 480 now, and but if it reaches 768 69, sorry, or anything, so on 69 770 resolution or 69, it is now on the left is the text, and on the right is the image, but they are not in the same proportion as they are in here. I mean, this is almost 50-50.
Yes.
So what we can do is header underscore left. What's the CSS class? Header underscore left. So header underscore left and dot is missing. Okay. Flex dash basis, let us make it 55%, and the one is to the right is 45%. Is this fine? And let us, it's okay for now. So almost there now, because here if we check it, this one is the image and this one, so maybe it is 50-50 or 55-45. I have given it 45-55 ratio to it. So in the design now we will fix this, but at least they are on the side of on the sides, right? Is this fine?
Yes.
The next is we will fix this image in a moment, but let us just come now to this section. About us is 2 column, vision is 2 column, and mission is 2 column. Is this fine?
Yes.
So if we check the markup for these in index.html, let us come to the about us section, and I just close it, and this is vision and this is mission. These are 3 main divs, and in them we have this left and this right. Is this fine?
Yes.
And about us closes here. It means we need to make about us display flex. So inside the media query for tablet, we make dot about us display flex, right? And then we have these two as 50-50%.
Yes.
So the left and right, they will be have flex basis of dot about us underscore left flex dash basis 50%, and the right also 50%. So about us is now to the right, and the same we will copy repeat for these two also, vision and mission. So let us dot vision if you have consistent naming, so you can easily change these classes, vision and then mission. Okay, so all of these are, now we need to have some gap inside. So to all of these we can have one variable also for the gaps, but let us repeat them now. So a gap of, for example, we can make it percent as well, 5%, or you can calculate it from Figma also, 5%. Gap 5%. Is this fine? So now there are some gaps also. We can have one section margin also, a class for sections. Okay, so for example, there is some difference gap between this section and this section and this section, right?
Yes.
So for example, let us calculate it. It is 100 pixels, this and this 100 pixels. So in the outside of the we should have done it in the mobile section, but let us do it now in the dot section dash margin dash bottom. So let us make it margin dash bottom. How much it was? 100 pixels. Okay, so margin bottom is 100 pixels and the class is section margin bottom. Let us copy it. And in all of the about us and vision and mission, it will have now a margin of some 100 pixels between all of them. So this is that margin. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, let us improve these buttons now, because here if you see these are two on one line and then the third one. So we could have done that from mobile also, but if you just check the markup I have written, because I already had this in mind, and again I will go back to that principle of examining your designs before plunging into coding. So if we go to is this the section? Yes. So the buttons, all of the three buttons have been wrapped in a wrapper, because I had a reason for it, and that reason is that I will just copy this and here make it display flex. If we don't wrap it, maybe all of them will be on the same line now. So all of these are in the same line. I don't want them to be in the same line. I want two of them to have a design like this, and then the third one to on the second line. So what I will do, Shabas, we will make it flex wrap. Firstly, flex dash wrap wrap, but it won't solve it for now, probably, or should it? Because we have 100% width on the buttons, on the elements. So what we will do is we will exactly. So we will have, for example, what are they? this is the first one, second, third. Maybe we can give them some first, second and third classes also, right?
Yes.
So we have given extra classes to it, and here then we will refer dot first. It should have a flex dash basis 40%, for example, right?
Yes.
The second one will have
60%.
60%, so it will avail all the this is 60%. The third one is, let us make that 50%, for example. It will be on the last line, 50%. Almost there we are. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Something like this. Okay, the advantage of minimum width is this. If you go back to this media query, we have written it only for min width 769 for tablets, okay, but this means all of these styles will apply on desktop also. So there are chances like 50, 60, 70% of the styles on desktop are already there. Now if in case you need to specify styles for desktop, you will have to create another breakpoint and just use the specific ones. Those which are not there are not applicable, right? So for example, if I just extend the layout now to that is this one. So for example, on desktop almost the design is there. Now I just need to specify, if we go to the desktop design here, the buttons are like these. So what should be the rule so that we can have these just like this? Shabas. This is now desktop version. It is, the button is very much, I mean, extending its normal line. So we can give a max width to the button container, this one. Okay. So for example, on 1440, we will create another one, another media query, and you can just target elements only screen and min dash width, for example 1440 pixels, or 1441 is also fine. Okay, so here we will just give this where is that wrapper, button container, where we had made it flex.
Above header. So this one, header left button.
Yes. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. The classes here are header left button, so we don't need to redefine them because they are already in dot minimum 769. So it will already apply to the desktop also. We just need to copy the class, and inside the minimum width 1440 or whatever 1441, here we will just give them, for example, max dash width. Let us just try what the width is, for example 50%. So this is 100%. Now it has a max width. The buttons have come down to its original place. Is it fine?
Yes.
Just with one class it is on track. Similarly this one, for example, how is it on desktop? So it is
That's a flex direction column.
flex direction column, and here it is again column.
Yes.
So we can just change the direction of the,
Yes.
but again these, the wrapper have to be flex. They are not flex there. Let me just explain. Because these are stacked, I didn't need to make about us, mission and vision as flex, but here we need to make them flex because these two are side by side. About us and vision are on the two columns, and then the third one is this. So what we need to do,
Make the inner wrapper.
the about us section, inner wrapper, yes, this one. Let us just go back to the markup we have created. So this is this one, main.
Main inner.
Yeah, the main inner has, let us just close these down, these three. So the main inner needs to be a flex box only on desktop, nowhere else. So about us, mission, these two will be side by side, and this one will be
50-50,
exactly. So the same flex wrap section. So let us make dot main inner, dot main dash inner, and it will become display flex on display flex. And then maybe we need some gap also, so gap of 5%, and flex dash wrap, right? Then we have dot main inner, it has dot about us. I want it to be of flex dash basis 50%. If I don't make them 50%, the first two, it won't let the third one go to the bottom row. Control C, this second one is vision, and the last one is mission, and mission will be Shabas 100%. So if we check it now on desktop, so 1 2 3, this one is fine, but there is some problem with it, probably because of Shabas. That's where these things are so crucial, the debugging tools, probably because of the gap. Let us remove gap for now, for some reason. Okay, so we don't have any gap now, but the things are a bit different. The last row is okay, but here we need to have some no.
So that's why we need to decrease the percentage.
Exactly. So it is a very good case for what? Shabas, tell me. The right one, this one, for example, flex basis is, we'll calculate it 100% or maybe 50% minus 5%, 3% gap. If we set some variable, for example, so 3%, so it is already 47%, but if these are variables, so we can specify that variable here as gap. Is it right?
Yeah.
So gap is now let us have it 2%, 3%, yes. It can be variable. I'm not going to make it a variable right now, just to save some time. Is it fine now?
Yes.
So here we can give it 47% directly. Is this fine now?
Yes.
Almost fine. Now the thing is, as I have given you the assignment, you have to move this border to the edge of the screen. Also, this is very huge, sort of. If you go to cnn.com, for example, this, it remains in the center, site remains in the center, but our layout is stretching, so on any device it will be to the edge of the screen. What can we do is, we already have that in the form of container. That was the reason why we have given it a container class, right? So on desktop we will make it dot container and we will give it a max dash width of 1440 pixels for now, or something like this, right? So now if we refresh it, control 0, sorry, even we can make it lesser. So
You are in inspect here, sir.
but it is now in the center. If we control minus it more, because we already have it, it will remain in the center because we have given it a max width of 1440 pixels. Say if I reduce it to 1200 pixel or maybe 1200 pixel, so now the container will have a maximum width of 1200 pixels. But again we have started according to 1440 pixels, so leave it at 1400 pixels.
I think the body color is a body has that purple color.
Yeah. No, actually it is in the center, this one.
Yes, sir, it is in the center.
But if you remove the body color, so yes, you are right, but it still shows it is in the center. Okay, we will design the header later on. And if I switch this one, so where do you always need to specify media queries? So now there is some disturbance here, so you can have some jumps like these. So there is a sort of rule. If you see something like this happening, just notice that dimension and create another breakpoint. So that can be, for example, 1900 something or whatever. And this is why is this happening? Because we have given it a 50% width. This one maybe inspect. We have given the button wrapper some width, so maybe we need to increase that width so that they don't switch to the second line. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This lecture actually is part of the lecture 11 or day 11. We actually needed some CSS transforms probably or CSS animations, so I have tried to put these into this lecture as well. Once we are done with these concepts, then we'll move back to setting up. There are a few things still left in completing that HTML document, which was given to you as an assignment. So let us start studying these things first: CSS transforms, CSS animations, and pseudo elements. Once we are done with these, then we will revert back to or move back to that initial part of the lecture. So in Visual Studio Code, I will open or create a new document. Name it animations.html. Let me create a div. We will start with CSS translate, transform and translate. So the class is box, so we will just width 100 pixel, height 100 pixel, background dash color yellow, border 5 pixel solid, and let us make it black for now. So if we open it in Chrome, this is what we have. Just a simple box with, let me zoom it in. Now if I want, for example, it to be transform, translate X, capital X, and say 200 pixels. So it will leave its original position and move 200 pixels to the right. This is what transforms do. So transform translate x 200 pixel.
It's moved to non x-axis.
Yeah, this x means with on x-axis. If we make it to y, so what are your assumptions? So they have moved vertical, right? So, and if you want both, so we will remove the y 200 pixel comma 200 pixel. What should be the location of it now?
Down center.
Here 200 to the x and 200 to the y. So this is, if you have studied graphs in school, so maybe it can give you that information as well. So transform translate this. The next thing is for example, we make it transform rotate and the degrees. So for example 45 degrees. I want to rotate this box 45 degrees. So what it will do? It will be like this, 45 degrees. 90 degrees. Do you see any change if we make it 90 degrees? It will look like this, but it has moved 90 degrees. How? Let us change the border colors. Border dash top dash color green, border dash right color this one, border dash bottom dash color brown, and border dash left dash color blue. So now it has different border colors. It's fine. So if we remove the transform property now, if we remove the transform property now, so this is the mean position or the normal position. But if we add it again, so green is on the top. If it moves 90 degrees, so just notice it. Green is now here. So this is
It will move clockwise or anti-clockwise?
clockwise, and you can give negative degrees also. So for example, then the green is on the left. Got it? Okay. There is one called scale. Give it 2 to. What would it mean? Initial size is 100, so we need to make it 200. So 2 and 2, probably it will work. Okay, but this is not the ideal solution. It is jumping from one scale to another. It should be, let us move, change it to 50 pixels, and this one too. Now it's so for this we need transitions. So transitions is actually you need it to give it on the parent element, on the element where you want to get a transition. So in transition you can add anything, any property, but here we will give it transform because we are using transform for now, and 0.3 second or 1 second is fine as well, and is in. This is these are the functions, the way animations work. So you just need to know which ones are these: is in, is out, and linear. Now if we hover over it, so it will, why is it so? Now it basically moves from one state to another via these animations. in between animations steps actually. For example, it is actually the width is 50 pixels, for example. So here it is increasing. It has some internal in between steps which it goes through, and then it reaches the final position. If you just need to move it on one direction, what we will do, x 2, right? Okay. We can increase the duration of seconds as well. This is 1 second, decrease, so 0.5 seconds. So now it will be a bit. Next we want to move this from this position to this position, only in x direction. What we will do, again we will make it translate x, say we want to move it by 300 pixels. So it moves from this position. We actually had given it this value. For example, if I cut it and add it to the parent, this element, original element, so it will be on in this direction. Actually this is zoomed out, that's why it seems like this. Okay, so its original position is this, but it has moved 300 pixels to this. But if we give it on the hover, now when the mouse is above it, it will move to the right, and if we remove the mouse from the hover state, it will come back to its original position. Is this fine? Okay. So mostly these will be needed for the translate X, and maybe scale to some extent. There are many others, you can check yourself, but for now this is what we needed. The next thing is we are basing this animation on hover state, but CSS is powerful enough to have its own animation methodologies which we can reuse all the time. So for example, how is that done? We will create a circle, rather we can make a circle from this also. Anybody, how can we do it? 50%. We will increase the size also, and we will border dash radius 50%. So if we refresh it, let us remove this hover now. If we refresh it, we have this circle. Let us make it a bit bigger. 200 will be okay. Good. With different colors border, and let us make the border thick as well. So 50% is fine. 50 pixels. This one. Is this okay? Okay. The next is we will define, and animations are defined via key frames and then identifier. So for example, this will be a spinner. The name of the animation is spinner, and it has two states initially, from and then to. Is this okay? So there can be more steps also. This is one step and this is another step too. and this is the name of the animation. So we will use transform here as well. Transform, rotate 0 degrees. It means this is its original position. 0 degrees is its original position, and we will copy the same to this one. This. So for example, we want it to be rotated 360 degrees. 360 degrees or 180 or whatever. So what this animation will do, the name of this animation is spinner. We are defining it actually here, and it will move from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. It will actually rotate. Now the next step is we will use the animation here. Let us remove the transition for now. So here we will use the name of the animation, which animation should be here. So for example, spinner. Then rather we should first use these individual properties. So animation dash name spinner. So what I want with this property is the name of the animation which will be applied to this element dot box is this, right? Animation dash animation dash duration and animation dash delay. So duration is for how much it should run. So for example, I want it to run for 1 second. Animation dash delay. If you refresh the browser, it should wait for 5 seconds, for example, before the animation starts, before this from and to starts actually. So this is the delay. Hope I'm not mixing these two. Then animation, let us use these three for now, and if I refresh the page, after 5 seconds it for 1 second rotates. Is this fine? Because we have given it an animation delay of 5 seconds, so it will not immediately start if we refresh the page. It will.
We use it in Power.
Yes. So for example, this delay means that it should not immediately run. It should wait for 5 seconds and then this animation should start. And this duration means it should take 1 second to complete this from and to. So if we refresh it, 5 seconds it will wait, and then that animation will take place for 1 second. We can increase this duration, say for example 5 seconds also. So what do you expect with this? The rotation will be a bit slower.
Yes,
So let us wait for 5 seconds and then rotation will start. And once it finishes, I mean in 5 seconds it will be back to its mean position, its normal position. Okay?
It will rotate in 5 seconds.
Yeah, for 5
Single
seconds.
rotation.
Yes, single rotation. Okay. There is one more property which is animation dash interaction dash count. So you can give, for example, rotate for 5 times, rotate 5 times, or for example rotate 2 times or 3 times, whatever, but one of them is infinite. Now this rotation will be after 5 seconds. It will start, go to its mean position and then start again. Clear? So this rotation is now infinite.
How much time it will complete one rotation?
5 seconds. 5, because we have given it a duration of 5 seconds. If you make it, for example, 1 second, now this rotation will be faster. it will complete it in 1 second and then restart, because we have given it the infinite one. Now the rotation is faster. Is it okay?
Yes.
There is one more property. If we remove the okay, let us remove these 3 borders for now. Just leave the green one. It will start after 5 seconds. So you might have seen something like this when something is loading. So you just recognize that this page has some content which is loading. So now, if I, for example, even I can show some text which is inside this box. Let us try it if it is working. Okay, so we have, if you go to the HTML, we have nothing right now, but if we make it load, for example, p loading, and I want it to be in the center, so what I will do, I will make the box display flex. The easiest thing is this, display flex, justify dash content, center, and align dash items, center. Let us make this text a bit p font dash weight bold and font dash size 36 pixels. Is this okay?
Yes.
So this is loading. But as we are giving this animation to the wrapper div, it is even making the loading rotate. So you can play with it, okay? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
So now you know that something is loading, but actually it's nothing is loading at all, as we haven't done anything at all. The next thing is, so with animation, let us recap. How do we define our own animations? Add keyframes, spin, from this, and this. From and to. These are two
Values of this.
values of this spinner. So these are 2 steps actually, from and to. We can have unlimited number of steps, and they are defined by, so let us have one more animation. Add key frames, and we'll call it nakhra, and I will show why is this nakhra. Okay, so the name of the animation is nakhra. So we can make it 0%, sorry, after say 20%, 40%, and then 60%, and then 80%, and then 100%. So now how many steps this animation has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is this okay? Now for example, we will create one more div. Div class is equal to box2, and in CSS we will give some styles to box2. Width 100 pixel, height 100 pixel, width and height, and background edge color red. Is this fine? Now for example, on 0% I want this to have transform, translate x, say 0. I don't want it to be anywhere on 0%, so it should be on its own position, current position, right? But after 20% I want it to be to the right by say 50 pixels. Is this okay? After 40 I will bring it back to original, or maybe in the minus, so minus 50 pixels. Is this fine? Now translate x 50 pixels, and then this one after 60 I will move it to 150, and then here it will again come back by 50 pixel. But then if somebody gives him a stick, so it will move by say 500 pixel. This is fine?
Yes.
Let us try if these all are working. So the name of the animation is Nakhra, and we will give this to, so the name of the animation name is Nakhra. Animation duration means what should be the duration of this animation. So let us make it 10 seconds. And animation delay. What does this mean?
After 2 seconds or 5 seconds it will start.
Exactly. The initial delay. So make it 3 seconds for now. That's it. Let us try if these all are working. Got it? And it then comes back to its original position. We haven't given it any, if we examine it, 3 second wait initially, then it moves 50 pixels, and then it goes back in the minus, and then again it goes to 150 probably, and then somebody gives it a stick and then it runs away. Got it? So what we actually have done, we have divided this time, this in animation duration actually into these steps. Initially it was on its own position, then 20% after 20%. So 20% of the 10 seconds, what would it would mean after 2 seconds? It will move to 50 pixels, right? And then it will move back 50 pixel. We can also do something like, if it moves 50 pixel, then it will come down. So what will it be? Translate y by say 50 pixels. It comes down 50 pixels, and then it moves 150 pixels to the right, and then it should move y 50 pixels minus 50 pixels. So minus 50 pixels will move it to the normal line, and then it will go back to 500 pixels. Is this fine? So let us try how it behaves. And it has now moved out of.
Actually it is minus 500, that's why.
Yeah, it moves out of the screen. Okay. Now once the animation finishes, it moves to its original state, so original position. Okay. Once the animation finishes, it will move to its original position. Okay, one more thing, you can read about it on Google. Some of animations are very resources intensive. I mean, browser also does a lot of work with it, as well as your CPU. So normally it is not advised to have very complex animations. You can do it, but then there are performance issues in the browser. So just for smaller things, you can do things like these. It again comes back to its original position, this animation. But if we want, for example, I want this animation from left to the right of the screen. That's it. I want this box to move to the right. So we can change all of these to just one, or maybe we can use 100% also. Sorry, from and to. So I want it to move, for example, 500 pixels. This is fine.
Yes.
And the duration should be
Down.
say, for example, 3 seconds. Okay, so after 3 seconds it starts and it moves 500, but once the animation finishes it comes back to its original position. This is a jerk sort of. If I want this to move to this position but stay there, so there is a property for that as well, so that it doesn't come back to its original position. That property is animation fill mode, and it is forwards. Animation fill mode forwards. So it will actually make this box stay at the end keyframe of its animation timeline. So for example, after 3 seconds it starts and then it will not come back to its original position. Got it? The next we will create one outside of animations. We will do something. For example, I will create a box. Div class is equal to box3, and I want it to be of width is say 80 pixels, height is 600 pixels, and background dash color is gray. I want it to be position fixed, right? Position fixed. So if you make a div position, so then you need to have left, right, and top, bottom values. So the right should be 0 and top should be, for example, 200 pixels. Is this fine? What do you expect this div to be at?
Right.
It is on the right, and top is 200 pixels. So it's on the right column, right edge of the screen here. Is this fine? This div is on the right side of the screen. Or maybe if I make it say 400 pixels, top is 100 pixels. Is this okay? So you might have seen something like this in websites where something pops up from the right and there are some navigation items.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So what we will do is initially I will make the width of this is 80 pixels, right? So if I make it translate x 50 pixels, 80 pixels. What do you expect?
100 pixels after that semicolon. Put a semicolon
Transform.
on top.
Thank you. Okay, now it is not visible. Why?
It is moved in x-axis.
I have moved it, translate x, so it is the width of it is 80 pixels. If it moves 80 pixels to the right, so it means it is out of the view for now.
Yes, sir.
If I move it, for example, 70 pixels, so maybe just some part of it is visible. This is fine. So it is outside the viewport for now. So I will make it stay like this. Then on the dot box 3 colon hover like this. I want again the transform property, and I want it to transform to a 0 position. 0 position means its original position, but with a transition. Transition means and the property is transform and 0.5 seconds and is in or out or whatever. This. So once I hover over it, on purpose I have left just part of the div so that I can move my mouse over it, and once I just hover over it, hopefully it will be, for example, this one, so it moves to its original position and it is now visible. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
It is just like some sort of drawer in a cupboard or whatever. So if you just move it this way, it actually stays. Is this fine and okay? The same you can do with some animations also. So maybe if there is some button, once we learn JavaScript, if you click on some button, this button menu will pop up to the viewport, and we can even hide it from here. So for example, if there is a button, I just click on it, it will show up. Got it? Okay, now we have enough of translate X and Y. Now we need to discuss something which is known as pseudo elements in CSS. So for example, I have a heading H1 hello I'm not any critic of English language, but I just don't know why this be here in this, if we still call it pseudo. Okay, so this is H1, and in CSS let us give it some style. So this is that H1. And it is not taking any style because of this dot, and the color should be, for example, red. Is this fine? Now for example, I want some line with this. If I give it a border dash left 10 pixel solid, and let us make it green. So this is that border. How to increase the size of this border? Padding dash top 100 pixel, padding dash bottom 100 pixel. So this border can be increased this way and it remains in the center because it has this border. But I want actually the line as horizontal line with, you might have seen it in some headings. I want horizontal line with the H1. So I will remove border for now and even the padding. There is a property which is known as H1 double colon and before. So H1 double colon before means that before H1 there will be something. Before means not the element itself, inside the element. I will show it. So for example, it can be content is this. This is some content before H1 and color blue. So you can see this content now has come from CSS. This is some content before H1 and then, so whatever H1 you create now, it will have this content before it. So for example, I have another H1 also, though there should not be more than one or two H1s. So this text will follow it. This is some content. So if I make it just, for example, let us now delete this, not the text actually, but the content should be empty, like this. So we want the content to be empty, but we can then give it width and height also. So for example, the width of this empty content is say 500 pixels or maybe 100 pixels, and its height is 50 pixels, and the color is blue. What do you expect now?
Expect a depth with the height in it.
Yes. If you give this H1 a border for padding, maybe padding dash left, content this with
background color, I think.
height is this. Yes, thank you. Background edge color is blue and height is this. Okay, let's make it position absolute, and this one is position relative, and I will give it a top of, for now, minus 100 pixels, and left of 0. So this line actually is part of the actual text was overlapping that content pseudo element. That's why it was not visible. Now we have given it position absolute, so it is minus this much, minus. If I remove it and make it 0 pixel or just 0 is fine too, so it is just alongside it. Now if I create any new elements, we can position it also, so that is just in the center. But for now, if I create two more divs, two more H1s, what do you expect? This one. So now this blue border or text, or we don't need any extra divs, we don't need anything else. With just this pseudo element, we have now introduced a way where every H1 will have some blue. Okay, so let us recap. This is H1 element and this is H1 before, so we can have something after it as well. So if I just copy it and we will make it after. And let us make this one green. Green. Fine. And position, so let us make this one right. Where do you expect this now? On the right side, this one. So these are two actually the pseudo elements. These are not divs, these are just elements, and those elements actually are, this is just an empty content. Okay. If you remember, you had been given a task of some buttons, for example. So we have ul, li, Drupal, WordPress. Fine. These are two LIs, this one and this one. I want to have an arrow greater than sign after Drupal and WordPress. Okay, after Drupal and WordPress, we need to have a greater than sign. So what can we do? Here we want a greater than sign. One of the buttons in your Quick Info had this, if you remember. Side. So we can even check what HTML entities are. HTML entities and greater than. This is less than, this is greater than. These are known as HTML entities, okay? And the code is this, ampersand GT, right? So for example, I just print here in Drupal this, and after WordPress this, and just refresh the page. We have greater than sign, but we are not. We will get to accessibility of websites in one of the lectures before JavaScript actually. So screen readers read all of these things. Screen readers for those who are visually impaired, okay? So they will read it Drupal ampersand GT colon, they won't understand what this is. So we are not going to give it this way. We are going to give it via CSS. So now here means ul and li. What do you expect? Where should it be? Li after, Shabas, after. And we want after to have content colon GT this. Fine? Okay. No, it is probably part of it. Then position absolute right 0, top 0 for now, and color red. This is fine. Content is this, after this, and this is 0. Or maybe we can make the right 0 is fine for now. And we have to make ul li position relative. Yeah, these are not getting interpreted. Let us give this one for now and see if it is working. It's working, but here
make it left 0. Right 5.
left 0 will make it on the text somewhere here. This is fine, but I just need to just quickly Google why is CSS. They are mentioning this one, so not sure why is. Okay, for now let us make it this way, and position is absolute, and even position absolute is not very important. We can make it styled differently as well, but for now let us if we make it again to right and just give the li some width, for example, let us make it display inline dash block. So what will it do?
It will be inline display, but we can give it any width and height.
Yes, so with inline these are almost there, and if we give it some padding, so or we can even give it a some padding dash right 100 pixel. It has moved a lot, so let us make it 20 pixel. So now any allies will have this this sign. This is your assignment. Just check out why our HTML entity is not working in CSS. So maybe there is some way out, so just check it out. I think this is enough for today.